concluding session. 3 frames left. In this session, Higgins needs to win them all to draw level.
Well, he looked at the plant and he needs a little bit of luck again. This time he may have got it. It was very close, this. Just caught it a little too thin, the first red. And it could be a stalemate, this frame now.
Yes, we haven't seen an awful lot of re-racks in this year's championship, but this has got re-rack written all over it.
If somebody leaves a touching ball, and that may be touching. If it is,
touching ball,
he could play that cue ball into the jaws of the green pocket, somewhere up there. Cover the red over that left corner with the blue, green, red. It's all about pace, this. I think the only reason why Ronnie O'Sullivan isn't playing the cue ball to that spot there is he's badly hampered over the reds, and it's always difficult to judge the speed when you're so badly hampered. Not often you see that on your television screens.
Well, a smattering of applause, I think, from people. Yes, behind the cue ball they can see that Higgins can't get through.
Well, he can only roll into the reds, but he's got to be careful that cue ball doesn't pull away too much. Now, which way is it going to go? Well, look how short he is there, and that's a poor shot from John Higgins. He's left an easy starter for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever seen him play such a poor shot as that. But there were signs in the last frame where he just wasn't with it.
That was an extraordinary misjudgment, wasn't it?
He may have been scared of the cue ball skimming off the reds if he plays it too hard, but too soft, and he was certainly leaving the red on. I need to play this with a lot of top, otherwise the cue ball
15
wouldn't come through the reds. And there's nobody plays this shot better than Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ideally, he would like to take the red to the left of the black. That's the one that's causing the problems.
22.
Is this the man who, 10 days before the championship began, phoned up the game's governing body and said he was going to withdraw? Thankfully, he reconsidered. John Higgins now wishing he hadn't.
I'm sure every other player does as well. Well, that wasn't a good shot either from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He either played for the red to the left of the black, or the cue ball just run on a little bit further than what he intended, and that's the result of it. Now, he'd be better off taking the red to the left corner here, John. It's a bit more difficult, the red, than the one over the right corner pocket.
One.
Now, can he play for the red just to the left of the black? Looks like it.
Eight.
And if you can win this frame, he's still in touch. 8-6.
9.
Now maybe just a little nudge to the reds above the black. Not too hard, just enough to open them.
16. Seventeen. Thank you.
And once again, if he can play the cannon to the red next to the pink, that gives him choice of 3 or 4 reds. He doesn't need to.
Twenty-four. 25. Yeah.
Well, again, a little kick that took the pace out of the cue ball. You saw it jump. And it just makes that little bit of a difference where the cue ball's not coming back down towards the reds now. He's a little straight on it. There's a lot of pressure on this break now.
One. Please, John.
With that, Higgins hits the front. When O'Sullivan was in the balls, he must have been fearing the worst about going 4 frames behind. The O'Scullion needing to keep a steady hand.
37.
The pink spot is occupied. All of the other colours are on their nominated spots, and so the pink has to go closest its own spot towards the black.
38. 45.
Having a good look at this possible plant to the left corner, and it looks like it can be made. Well, again, he's a little short on the blue, but because of this plant, it's not going to make much difference. Now, as we're looking at it,
51.
he needs to hit it slightly on the left, so the cue ball going towards the cushion slightly.
52.
And he's on the pink. Now, I know most of you at home would have been thinking, well, no, he needs to hit it at the other side. But because the balls are touching or nearly touching, you have to hit it on the opposite side, and it reverses. Now, don't ask me how it reverses, but it does, believe me. You have to hit it on the opposite side of the ball, which I always felt was strange when I was learning the game, but it does happen. Try it at the club.
59.
Now he's left an angle on the black to be able to go into them if one of the reds doesn't go to the left corner, sorry, the right corner. Could have been better.
66.
Well, that's his highest break of the session, but not yet sufficient to put this frame under lock and key.
Needs another red and any colour. Well, anything above the yellow. He overcut one earlier like that, and he's overcut that one. Fortunately, this time he's got the snooker. Well, this doesn't look good.
Foul.
Good pace.
John Higgins, 4.
But that right-hand side he had on the cue ball just took it further down the cushion than he anticipated.
Yes, he could afford 4 penalty points there, maybe even here.
Double check.
But of course, the further he falls behind, the smaller the colour alternatives of the two reds if he gets the chance to clear up. Overriding objective, though, to leave the red safe.
Yeah, mustn't leave the red on. Well, is it worth taking on this red to the middle? If he misses it, he could lose the frame. But if he gets it, he wins the frame.
Well, it wasn't in one visit, but this is just what Higgins needed. And we have to remember that O'Sullivan had first chance, and a good chance it was as well.
5.
on 30, undercut a red, playing left-handed into the pocket that Higgins has just deposited the last red.
Foul. John Higgins.
Well, the
5,
pink instead of the
O'Sullivan
black
6.
goes in. O'Sullivan's left his cue there. That means he's conceded. Well, can't quite make up his mind whether he has or not. Come on, Ronnie, you should know the mathematics here.
Settle down, please.
He's flummoxed.
Okay, frame conceded. Frame John Higgins.
Finally, the decision arrives. He's had enough. And so John Higgins bridges the gap. It's now only 2 frames. O'Sullivan still in the ascendancy, mind you. 8-6 ahead. 2 frames left this afternoon.